Good evening. It's Facebook Love. I said I would stop counting. I think it's 106 or 107. Hard to break the habit. I was thinking about this today. As we see alarming daily rises in the number of people being diagnosed with COVID-19, as well as the number of Americans who have died. We went from having 20% of the world's share of cases and 20% of the world's share of deaths to 25% of the world's cases and 25% of the world's deaths. We are state by state seeing cases of COVID-19 in our country similarly to third world or undeveloped nations. And it's baffling. It breaks my heart. I don't understand people not wanting to just put on a mask and give each other some space. It's really hard. It's really hard. And I think something that I've been learning in layers is really becoming evident to me now. I felt since early 2017 when the way that we treat immigrants, especially those who are trying to cross the border and claim asylum, when that started in January 2017, right after the inauguration of this Republican administration, I have been feeling more and more, week by week, month by month, what people who live in countries with terrible governments must feel, which is, how did this happen? How can we allow this? There are children in cages. There are families being separated. They have made federal demands to end this, and yet, except for letting people go now because of COVID-19, we haven't changed the way we're acting around that. There's no justice for grifting and corruption. Civil rights are not civil rights for everybody. It's really hard. And I've said this before, but when I get frustrated or sad or feel helpless, I think about how long women fought to get the vote in this country. I think that a lot of us forget that it took 100 years. And then once women could vote, it took another 50, 60 years for women to vote in equal numbers to men, which is baffling to me. And those who are fighting for civil rights have been fighting as long as women fought. They've been fighting since the same era when women started fighting for the vote. I don't get it. I'm hopeful because I see action and changes in the way people speak to each other and in the marching in the streets, which is like fighting the virus right there, racism. Fighting otherism, which is what led to this awful treatment of people migrating. Climate change is leading to migration. Bad use of resources, corruption and grifting all over the world. Water rising, crops failing. It's climate change. Anyway, all these things swirl around in my poor poetic brain. So, I found a poem by one of our Chicago poets, Gwendolyn Brooks, with a long title. Sorry, I'm not sick. I just have a frog in my throat from emotion. This has a long title for a short poem. Speech to the young. Speech to the progress toward, among them, Nora, and Henry III. Say to them, say to the downkeepers, the sun slappers and the self-soilers, the harmony hushers, even if you are not ready for day, it cannot always be night. You will be right, for that is the hard home run. Live not for the battles won. Live not for the end of the song. Live in the along. Speech to the young. Working on improving the world isn't just for the young, though they have the most noise and the most energy, and I'm grateful for that. I have a 20-year-old here who is on fire for justice and for progress. I suppose I taught him in the beginning, but now he's teaching me. So remember to live in the along. I need to remember that. I've read many times too that peace is something that's found inside chaos, not the lack of chaos. That doesn't exist. So my message today is to live in the along. This is Facebook Love. I'll see you again.